Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wine, Women, and Words. I am Michelle, and with me, of course, is Diana.
Hello.
And this evening, we are celebrating a Galentine's Day podcast with romance author Mia Hopkins. Thanks so much for coming back. This is actually your second time on the show.
It is. Thank you so much for having me on again. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So, I guess before we really dive into anything, we were just talking about our beverages this evening. So, why don't we kick off with our round robin of what everyone is drinking? So
let's
guess
have
first.
Mia, would you like to?
Yeah, sure. So I have a selection. I'm actually
It's always good to have choices.
It is.
Let's see. So the series that I'm writing now is set in a brewery. So I'm excited to be drinking what I believe to be some local beers from here in LA. And the first one I'm going to start with is called Day Job.
Ooh.
As in,
I love the look of that. Yeah. I was going to say, for those who are listening, it's got this really great 1920s noir look. It looks very Los Angeles.
Like very, almost looks like deco, right?
Yeah, that Art Deco.
So Day Job is, it looks like a pale ale from the Three Weavers Brewery. And this is a really cool little brewery in Inglewood. And it was started by a woman named Lynn Weaver. And it's named after her daughters because they're the Weavers. So Three Weavers.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
I'm excited about this sound, guys, because I had a baby a few months ago and I haven't been drinking. So this is one of my favorite sounds right here. Let's see if it...
Oh, beautiful sound of music.
I got a glass. I got a glass with a dog on it because I mean business. Yeah, here we go. That's what it looks like. Pale ale. Good foamy head. I'm excited. So that's what I'm drinking first.
Here at Wine, Women, and Words, we aim to please.
I was gonna say I totally feel you on the first alcoholic beverage post baby. It's like one of the most exciting feelings when you can actually go, oh my God, I don't have to like freak out about having a glass of wine. I can enjoy it. Or a beer in your case.
A beer in my case.
So I'm wearing headphones for the first time tonight for those listening. And it feels really weird to me to hear myself. Like, you know, when you wear headphones and you talk, you can kind of hear yourself in your own head. It's freaking me out. So I have to take out one headphone. It's weird to me. And I've had like 2 sips of wine, so it's only going to get better.
So, it's going to be an awesome episode. Yay, Galentine's Day.
This actually, I bought my husband his favorite bottle of Moscato and then realized about 5 minutes before the show started that I had no wine. So I was like, can I open your bottle of wine and pour myself a glass? And he gave me crap for it, but it's mine. But then he said yes. So I'm drinking his Moscato tonight. It's very good.
Yay.
Well, what's mine is yours. It's the way any good marriage works, right?
Exactly.
I'm actually drinking. Oh, I just sloshed my wine. Because I'm not drunk yet. I swear.
How do you lose your wine?
I sloshed it.
Oh, don't do that.
I went to swirl it, and it just kind of went sloshed and over my glass and onto my pants. Because I'm classy like that. I'm actually drinking. I'm drinking a really, really good Pinot Noir from Trader Joe's, and it's I'm going to say the name. It's Cherry Blossom, and I'm saying the name because it's the first Pinot Noir I've had that has this really strong cherry taste. So I really dig it. Yeah.
So, but normally, you guys know we have our Wink wines with us, and I'm looking through my checkout box from checkout cart from I don't know how long ago, and I'm updating it so I can order more wine. But if you guys want to check out some wines, they've actually added a bunch of new wines that I haven't seen before that look very interesting. So go to trywink.com www podcast, and you'll get $22 off of your first order. They've added a bunch of whites that look very interesting, and I used to have a cart full of reds, and now I'm switching over to whites. Also, another downfall of using headphones is my cat tries to eat them. So this could be a really interesting podcast. And now I have to put both of them back in because he's attacking it.
Well, we're here talking with Mia on Galentine's Day because it's so apropos. For those of you who've not checked out Mia's books, you need to go do so because I love her books. Especially your new series. Your new series is just so fun. I love the first one. And then the second one you said comes out in July. So we're in that in-between phase. So let's, for those who haven't read the books yet, tell us a bit about the series, the new series.
Sure. The series is called Eastside Brewery. And if you're watching the video, I have the audiobook right here, and you can check out the cover of book 1. It's called Thirsty. And here it is.
It is worthy of the name.
Yeah.
I was a little...
I know my editor sent me the image, and I dropped my phone. I don't know who he is. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're like, approve.
I know. Stamp. Done. Yeah, this is great. So Eastside Brewery is a series about a family of former gangsters in East LA who start a new business, who are formerly incarcerated, and when they get out of prison, they start a business brewing beer in the neighborhood. And that's what the whole series is about. And so book 1 is about the oldest brother, Sal. He's the brewmaster, so he's the one who's in charge of actually making the beer. And the second book that I'm working on now for release in July is called Trashed, because that's what happens when you drink too much and you were thirsty, like I am right now. And the second brother, the younger brother, Eddie, is kind of like the get stuff done guy for the brewery. So he has his own story. He fits into the starting of this business in his own special way. And he's different from Sal. And it's been a lot of fun exploring the differences between the main characters in the series.
Didn't we meet Eddie in the first book towards the end, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, that's right. Eddie comes out of prison about 3/4 of the way into the book. And so you kind of see the contrast between the brothers, their interaction. They're from the same background, but they react to things differently. They have different personalities, and his journey is going to be different as well.
Yeah. It's always some things that, so my husband was an only child, and then I've got 2 half siblings, but we have, pretty much the same upbringing in a lot of ways, or the same parents. And it's, it's funny because my husband always marvels at the fact that even though we have very similar genetic makeup, and even my sister and brother, almost the same because, they're full siblings. The 3 of us are all so different in so many ways with the siblings. We're not all exactly the same. And my husband, the only child, just marvels at that. He's like, you guys just...
It's strange because, I'm a first-time parent, and I've been talking to other parents for advice, and I say, is it the same when you have the second kid? Almost all the circumstances are the same parents, same house, same everything. They're like, no, it's 2 totally different kids. And what I expected when I was starting to raise the second child is totally different. Every day is new. So, yeah.
And Eddie, I think, is going to be a fun character, and I think the name Trashed is a good title. I already can tell it's a good title for the book, given how we get to meet Eddie in that.
Oh.
Poor Eddie, sweet Eddie. I have a soft spot for Eddie already.
Oh, yay. Yeah, gosh, because with romance, you want to have, you want to tick some boxes with your main character, right? You want to have a guy that readers are going to fall in love with. And, he's got to be decent. He's got to, show a little bit of bad judgment in the beginning, but redeem himself. But, the variations on heroes are like infinite in romance. And it's been fun to explore how to create a hero that's different from that, because I love Sal. Like Sal, the hero of Thirsty, is
Sal's a traditional hero. He's that good guy, in my opinion, who, he made some bad decisions before, but he's honestly trying to be that good guy. And you see that traditional type of hero in him.
Right.
Yeah.
And Eddie's a little bit more complicated. And so he's been, he's fun to write, but he's hard to write because you want him to do the right thing. And sometimes he doesn't. But you still have to create a character that's lovable and that you're going to love him through these like bumps in the road, knowing that he's going to make it right in the end. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I would imagine.
Fun.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I would imagine that writing a series, that's one of the exciting parts about writing a series, is you get the opportunity to get to know your characters over an extended period of time, that it's not like, okay, well, you guys have to let me know who you are right away so I can actually write this book and finish it. They can develop over time.
That's right. And I have friends who write series where it's one couple for multiple books. And so you can kind of see how it's not like a straightforward romance where there's just a happy ending and then you're done, right? And so now we get to see how they interact as a couple, and now we get to see how they react to setbacks and how they recover from misunderstandings. And so it's not just the traditional boy meets girl, girl meets girl, boy meets boy. It's a lot more complex than that. And so it's one of the reasons why a lot of authors love writing series, just absolutely love writing series. Especially in romance.
Yeah, I assume that you're one of those authors who loves writing series as well.
I do, but I write different couples, so there's a little bit of world building involved, and so you get to revisit the characters you've written books about before and kind of drop them in. They kind of like do cameos, and that's fun. Yeah.
So,
sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Michelle. Go ahead.
Off our flow this evening. It's the headphones. I swear it's the headphones. And also, just completely side note, my Lily has these little LOL dolls. I don't know if you've ever seen LOL dolls. They're like this big, and she just recently discovered that you could pull the heads off of them. And she thinks that it's a feature of the dolls that you can mix and match the heads with the bodies.
So she's a girl after my own heart.
So there were like 2 heads and 2 bodies on the dining room table, and the cat found them, and he's now whacking a body all over the kitchen floor. And it's going to be gone by the time she wakes up tomorrow. But anyway,
a metaphor for series is that you have to make sure that your heroes and heroines and your main characters basically are not the same body with a different head.
I love that.
So you gotta make they can't just have a different name, a different face. You have to make sure that they're different, like very clearly different.
Well played.
Shooting. Yes. And the cat will go after you.
And by cat, we mean angry book reviewers.
Angry. Oh, they are cats sometimes. Just kind of pet them, but every now and then claws come out.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Let me put out a new book so you'll be happy, little kitty.
I'm the same way. I'm a reader, so I can understand when people, you get passionate about books, and that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I've actually haven't really read too much romance. I think maybe, unfortunately, I think you came on the show in a month that my class had lectures on our show nights. So I missed your book, and I haven't had the opportunity to go back and read Thirsty yet. But what books, I mean, of course yours, but also what are some of your favorite like gateway romance authors or books that you would use to introduce people to the genre?
Oh gosh, this is one of my favorite questions. So I know that Diana, you like historical fiction, is that right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I have got a book for your historical fiction readers. This is actually a series, and the author is Sherry Thomas. And she has a lot of historical romance, but one of her really exciting series, in my opinion, is a retelling of Sherlock Holmes with Sherlock as a woman named Charlotte Holmes. And so it's like what was the first one called? A Study in Scarlet Women. And this one is the third one. It's called The Hollow of Fear. And it's just a wonderful retelling of Sherlock as a woman and somebody who's kind of struggling through the kind of the boundaries of what is expected of her, but still, with a brilliant mind and trying to find a way to have that independence and to gain it for her family. It's a really great series. And she writes a lot of romance. These are not technically romances, but there are a lot of romantic elements. So this is a really, really great series. If you like her writing, she has such great, like sexy Victorian historical romance that I love. So Sherry Thomas is a
Victorian
really
romance.
Oh, I know. I was going to say, Diana, that has you all over it.
That's totally me.
Oh, you would love it. I mean, her stuff, I started reading her when I was like a baby romance reader, and I didn't know anything about the genre, and it was just like rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole. Like, her books are so delicious. In fact, that's the title of one of her books, is Delicious. So, highly recommended.
The series that got me into romance was Gail Carriger's books.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
The Parasol Protectorate series. And I love historical fiction, but I have a tendency when I go romance, I go fantasy.
Okay.
When I go romance, so I love that series. And then there's also The Broken Heart, I think is the name of the series.
Oh, I think I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, I remember making you read it once. And you were like, and I didn't tell you how hardcore the romance was, and then you got to one of the romance scenes that was really hardcore.
Oh, I remember.
And you were like,
is it one of those where you go, oh, you have to pause and you like look around?
That's like, am I blushing? I feel like I'm blushing while I'm reading this book.
Yeah, exactly. And you were like, what did you make me read?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It was one of those. Yeah. Yeah, those were my gateway ones. Now, Mia, what brought you into the romance genre?
It was an accident. I think I was a literary fiction reader like my entire life. I was an English major and was like kind of snotty about genre fiction at the time. And one day, like I was not feeling well. I was sick, and my husband went to the drugstore and he bought me like a Sprite and a Star magazine and like a trashy romance novel. It was like a Scottish romance novel. I'm like, what is this? And because I wasn't well, I was like, all right, I guess I'll read. I tore through it in a day. I could not stop reading it. And I feel like it was just a time in my life when I was looking for something that wasn't just like, I was starting to get turned off with a lot of literary fiction, and that I felt like the author was almost too conspicuous, like almost like they were just showing off how smart they were all the time without really caring about like a reader's experience. It kind of made me, I don't know, grumpy. And so to read something that was just unapologetically romantic, that took care of its reader, that was surprising, even though you knew the ending, like Titanic, like, I know the ship's going to go down. Titanic is not a romance, sorry. One requirement of a romance is it's got to have a happy ending. One requirement. That's it. And there has to be a central relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 2 things. That's it. So a lot of times people are like, "Oh, I love Nicholas Sparks." I'm like, it's not a romance, man. Like, it's not a happy ending.
No,
So,
oh my gosh, I would not qualify his books as a romance. It's more of a like rip your heart out and stomp on it a few times.
right.
And
I mean, there's like romantic elements, but it's not a romance. No.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like his books. There's a point where, and I love the show This Is Us, and it gets this criticism too, where it feels like it's tearjerker porn, to put it bluntly, where it's I'm doing this to make you cry. My point is to just rip your heart out and be as emotional as possible and to make you cry. And I feel that's the way I feel about his books. So I avoid them, because if I'm going to cry over something, I wanted to feel a little bit more genuine, because I've gotten caught up in the story in and of itself. That's my own personal opinion and take on it. And people who love Nicholas Sparks, please do not send us hate mail.
I've only read a few of his books, and I've liked them, and they've got me caught up in the world and the characters. But then it's like he has a knack for finding like the best worst plot twist and like using it against you. So but I've only read maybe 3 or 4 of his books, and I can't remember the titles.
That's a good sampling, I think, for Nicholas Sparks. But I mean, like, a lot of romance authors who don't have that profile are really good at, as you call it, tearjerker porn, but also don't leave you at that point of the story. They find a way to uplift the story so that you have that good feeling at the end. And so, like, I think that takes some skill to be able to run the gamut of emotions and not just leave you down in the dumps. I don't know. I love romance.
Yeah, you know, I enjoy romance too. I have to say, it's one of my, when it comes to genres, it's one of my top 3 favorites. Give me, I like historical fiction, obviously. That's my favorite above all else. And then after that, it's fantasy and romance. And romance, you can really have, you can pair it with the fantasy, you can pair it with the historical fiction, or you can just have it on its own. It's like the spinach of genre. It is delicious, it is great, and it goes well with everything.
The spinach of literature. How about the wine of literature?
Oh.
Okay, we can go with that
beer,
too.
Guys, hold on. I know. I was excited about this. This one is called The Dog Ate My Homework by Brewery West, with a funny spelling on brewery. And it's a blackberry saison ale. And the guy at the store said that this pours and it looks like wine.
Ooh, let's see that pours, because that sounds really good to me. Because I like I don't drink a lot of beer.
Yeah,
I like stouts. I like the Lombocks.
Oh, it does look like wine.
Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that.
Pretty berry color with a great head.
Let's see.
I feel like Joey from Friends. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's really good.
I'm 5 years old tonight.
This is dangerous. This is delicious. Oh my gosh, that's
okay.
So good.
I might have to go with that, because sometimes you go out and you're with friends and you don't necessarily want to drink wine because it's a party or something. But yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. So that's The Dog Ate My Homework.
Right, by Brewery West, and it's a blackberry saison, which is like a light. Like, saisons are really easy to drink if you're not a beer drinker. So I highly recommend saisons.
Are they similar to the Lombocks? You know what I'm referring to with the Lombocks?
They're that fruity kind of lambics.
Yes, that's it. Lambics. Yeah. Yes. This is how little I know about beer.
No, you're fine. This is okay. It would be similar to that. This one in particular, but saisons are just like a nice light beer that are really they're really easy to drink. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice to change it up because, whenever I end up somewhere where it's mostly beer and you have because sometimes you go out to that restaurant where they have this one random house Chardonnay that you don't know where it came from and you're not really trusting where it came from. And they have just lists pages after pages of beers. It's nice to know that there's something else out there besides cider. The hard cider.
All those ciders are good too.
Don't get me wrong. I like a good cider, but sometimes you don't want a cider. Sometimes you want something a little different. So maybe it's next time I'm in a situation like that, I'll go with a saison.
You heard it here.
You see, I've said it before. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Wine, Women, and Words. We are equal opportunity alcoholics. We will give you advice on just about any kind of alcohol you want. Oh, I'm sorry. My phone just started ringing and I had it next to the... Sorry. That was really dead manners on me.
So rude.
I know. I totally just hung up on my husband on Valentine's Day. I am the worst wife in the world.
Oops. Sorry, Ryan. You're not rude.
No, I'm totally that person. Now, do you guys have plans for Valentine's Day at all? Because we're all married women here. Anybody have anything big planned?
Well, it's 10:38 p.m.
I'm also talking about this weekend. This weekend too.
No, not yet.
Okay.
We might go out tomorrow night. We have to see how the day goes. But we might go out tomorrow night. Actually, go on a date. Haven't gone on a date in that's how long it's been. I can't remember the last time we went on a date.
Where are you, Michelle?
I'm in Chicago.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
So, and it's also been, negative 70 degrees out here recently. So no one's wanted to leave the house. But the snow started melting today and it was, balmy 39 degrees. So it's starting to warm up.
Doesn't know.
How about you, Mia?
Mia's like, that's a hard pass.
Doesn't know.
Yeah. I am right there with you.
As cold as it gets is 55 maybe. I don't know. And I'm still I'm going to put on my one winter coat that's not really a winter coat. It's from Forever 21. It's a fashion winter coat.
I am right there with you. I see you. I hear you. I actually walked out this morning with a broken umbrella. And I had a mild freak out last night because my heater wasn't turning on and we got down to 65 in my house.
Oh, no.
And that is
unbelievable.
Frigid.
That's cold for inside. We keep our thermostat at 74. That's 65 is cold.
I was frigid. I was thinking my husband left some window open somewhere and I was going to scold him. So yeah. How about you, Mia? Any fun plans for this weekend for Valentine's Day?
I've got girl activities. My husband just walked in with a bag from our barbecue restaurant. So that looks like our date. I'm pretty excited about it.
Nice. Nice. Well played, husband.
I think it's very romantic. I'm very happy about that.
What about you, Diana?
Yeah, Diana.
Well, I got a bunch of edits back from my agent yesterday. So my husband is going to be allowed to watch as many Jean-Claude Van Damme movies as he wants this weekend while I edit. That is our weekend. Well, he's going to find it very romantic, yeah. And then he got me new training gloves because I'm doing kickboxing now.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. Nice. So I got training gloves, and he told me I could have them for Valentine's Day so long as I don't use them on him. And I said, absolutely.
And then I just want to try this one move really quick.
Yeah. Babe, let me show you how well I'm doing on that jab cross.
Oh my gosh.
Really, it's a loving relationship. We've been together forever. Yeah, and that's besides getting my wedding band fixed, that's pretty much it.
Oh, is it finally getting fixed?
Yes. Oh, I did not tell you this, man. I did not tell our listeners. My wedding band, I've outgrown my wedding band and my engagement ring. And one night I decided, since I've been losing weight and doing kickboxing, I thought, well, maybe it'll fit on my finger again, on my proper ring finger. And I tried it on, and I was wrong. It did not fit. And I had to go back to the jeweler's store the next day and have my wedding band cut off my finger. It was,
whoa.
Yeah, I couldn't, I tried every trick, and I was swelling up to the point where I called up my husband at work, panicking, thinking that I was going to have to go to the emergency room and have my finger cut off. That's how worried I was. I was having this massive anxiety attack, and yeah, we had to cut off my ring. So we had to wait for my finger to fully heal before I could go in and start the process of having my rings resized and repaired. So we're going to start that next. And I'm very excited about that.
I'm glad they didn't have to cut off your finger.
Yeah, I'm glad I still have all 10 fingers. That's very important when it comes to typing, because that was literally my thought was, oh my God, they're going to cut off my finger and I'm never going to be able to type right again. Because I'm a writer. I have a book to write, damn it. So yeah.
I only type with the first 3. I could lose these 2.
I'm full on. It's a full on musical instrument. You can tell I've been keeping pace with Mia here. I get really into it. All 10 fingers. I am like a little machine when I go at it.
I just put my hands on my fingers on the keyboard to see if I use all of them. And I mean, I guess technically I could probably lose my thumbs, but they're kind of vital to everything else. Mm-hmm. So no, I could not lose any fingers.
I actually took a formal typing class when I was in junior high. So I have that setup where you have H and J are blank. You have that resting pose. And that's the way I basically work for my typing. And I have found that it's so mechanical that if my computer is just slightly off from me, I can't adjust. And there have been times where I've been typing. Yeah, I have to start all over again and delete it all. And I've even done that to myself at work. I'm like, oh, gotta move it slightly right. I have a certain position I have to be in because I'm just that retentive when it comes to my typing.
I'm looking down at my keyboard right now. I don't know if this will work, but I think I erased the letters from. It's an old computer. Can you see that? You can't see that, huh? That's ridiculous. You can't see that.
You can see
you
it.
You can kind of see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really have worn the letters away. That's some hardcore typing.
Oh, I hope this laptop better last that long.
Yeah, this one's pretty old. This one's 2012, I think.
Oh my gosh.
My 2012 one. Well, it didn't actually die. All my husband did was wipe the hard drive, and it worked just fine. But by then, I already had a new laptop, and he goes, well, I guess I'll keep this one for myself. I'm like, oh, you sneaky person.
Okay. I had my laptops have like a three-year lifespan, and I'm just so hard on them. I use them all the time. It's constant. They're like my teddy bear. They go everywhere in the house with me.
Aw. Does your laptop have a name? Do you name your laptop?
No.
That's silly. Am I the only one who names my laptop?
Ooh, what's your laptop's name?
It's the worst name ever. It's Clappy. Clappy because I clap him shut. Clappy. It's so dumb.
It's very fitting. I love it. I feel like it's very appropriate for a romance writer to have a computer named Clappy.
That would be a horrible romance name. Clappy.
And Clappy, this is why I'm not a romance writer.
Clappy would be like, no, Clappy's having a lot of trouble getting dates.
Oh, poor Clappy. Somebody needs to date poor Clappy.
I need to name my laptop now.
What are you going to name your laptop?
Choose a cooler name.
I don't know. I want to be like Tappy because you tap the keys. And it could be Clappy's Chicago friend.
Cousin, right. Yeah.
There you go. So you've got Clappy, Tappy, and I'm going to have to go with it.
Clacky, because the keys clack. One glass of wine, people.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Happy.
There we go. I could be happy. I could be the happy dwarf. Yeah, clappy, tappy, and happy.
This sounds like a very, very sad trio, but it's awesome.
But
if you are my laptop, it is a sad existence.
I wouldn't think so with all the romance that you write, and I mean, seriously, guys. Seriously, sure. There was a couple scenes in Thirsty where I kid you not, I looked at it and I was like, "Whoa, people do that."
It's a dirty. it's filthy. It's really dirty. So enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna highlight this section right here and remember that for later.
I have a lot of problems because I'm really excited about the audiobook, and it's read by this voice actor named Ozzy Rodriguez. He does a whole bunch of stuff for Audible and I think Random House, but I cannot listen to my own writing. I cannot. And I cannot even imagine listening to a sex scene that I've written. Like I would die 1,000 13-year-old girl deaths. Like, I don't think I could do it. I know I should listen to it. I haven't done it yet. I'm so ashamed.
Is it okay? So I had to get over this fear because I know, like, there are sex scenes in my book, or sexy scenes in my book, and I had to get over this fear that I know my parents, and my parents are going to pick up and read my books, and I was like, my father's going to read this scene. Oh crap! My father's going to read this scene. Yep. I had to get over that. Did you have to? Is that something you had to get over when you were writing these books? Do your parents?
I feel like it's it's an ongoing process of getting over it, because like you think you're over it, and then you think about it, and then you're not over it again. But you just kind of like, I figure I'm writing for a specific reader. Like, I'm writing for readers. Like, this is a very specific audience, mom and dad. Like, I'm writing for them, and sorry, you have to see this.
Dad, I love you, but you're not my audience.
That's right. I'm right. You could say like, oh, like the romance genre, they have these like high expectations about, heat levels and sex scenes, blah, 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 whatever. It's what I tell myself to kind of like get through the fact that my mom and dad and my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, have read these books, and what can I do?
In-laws might be a little harder than the parents.
I do like the support, though. I mean, the support of somebody saying like, "Oh, I'm so happy that you wrote a book. I'm going to read it," and you're like, I can't be like, "No,
that's okay."
So, I mean, like, it's nice. It's nice when somebody picks up your book. So I just kind of like put that in the back of my mind and try and forget about it.
Where you go, what part are you at? Oh,
I don't ask any questions.
Or the parent just shows up and like they're either spraying you with holy water from a squirt bottle, or they're like, "Where did I go wrong?"
Side eye, But I mean, like, if you wrote like a murder mystery, would they look at you the same way, or like horror? Would they be like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah,
probably.
You just kind of like shrug.
My writing happy. No, I don't suspect that there will be any sex scenes in my book. Could be, who knows? These characters, they have minds of their own. So,
what are you writing?
I write kind of fantasy-ish. I'm nowhere near the level of like our book of the month, Kingdom of Copper. Nowhere near that level. I have a lot of world building to do. But yeah, fantasy, I guess, is the genre I would fall into. So, but it's almost finished. I have like 13,000 words left to go. So, yay!
That's cool. What's the goal count, like, total?
Well, I'm trying to hit like 100,000 just because I know I'm going to cut and I want there to be something left after I cut. So I'm trying to overshoot so I don't have to be like, oh my god, if I cut all of this, I'm gonna have like 2 pages left. I'm not gonna cut that much, hopefully. But yeah, so I'm trying to hit 100 just so I have leeway to make changes.
Is it your second, third, first?
First draft, first book, first draft. First time I've actually gotten this close to the end. I have like journals filled with like half-written stories of my angsty teenage years. Mm-hmm. Those had a couple attempts at sex scenes, which was really awkward to go back and read through. Like, oh, I read a couple Danielle Steele books and really took that to heart. Mm-hmm.
I kind of don't ever want to read the awkwardness that was teenage Diana's writing. That would be so awkward.
Well, I know that. Oh, there goes another LOL doll head. Yeah,
another character not attached to the proper body. Bringing it back full circle to Mia's wonderful literary advice.
Full circle.
Yes.
Well, I know we said we would keep you for half an hour. We've definitely gone past that, but we were having way too much fun.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. And your next book comes out in July. Trashed.
Right. Trashed.
So we will have to keep an eye out for that.
Right. And it's a second book in the series, but you'll be able to read it by itself if you haven't read the first book.
I love that when series do that. I absolutely love that. And between now and then, you guys can come to Boca de Oro in Santa Ana on March 2nd, that first Saturday of March. And you can see Mia there. She'll be reading from her book.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I'll try not to do a sex scene.
That could be fun, though. But the restaurant that we're going to, by the way,
no,
the restaurant
it's all ages, right? I can't do that, no.
Yeah.
I'll get thrown out.
Just hand out earmuffs as the people come in.
Oh, good idea.
Welcome.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you could have thirsty earmuffs. You could have thirsty on the side, on the earmuffs.
I'll just tell people to put their fingers in their ears and go, la, 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 la. It's a little cheaper for me anyway.
There you go. But the restaurant we're going to be at is called Alta Baja, and they have the best micheladas.
Oh, yum.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, and we're talking like tropical style micheladas. I don't normally go for micheladas myself, obviously, but they have got some like delicious ones with like, the last one I had there was like I had a candied pineapple on the side. It was so good. So we'll have to have some micheladas together.
Yes, I'll be looking forward to that.
Whatever, guys.
We'll have a couple in your honor.
Thank you.
Wow, you are going to get me so drunk at Boca de Oro, aren't you, Mia?
Do it for me.
Yes, you're drinking for 2 again.
Again, I will take one for the team. I'm willing to make that sacrifice for you, Michelle, because
I appreciate that. True friendship right there.
Right here. Galentine's Day miracle. Well, thank you so much, Mia. We'll let you go to the barbecue that your husband brought home for you.
Yes, thank you so much, guys. Happy Galentine's Day.
Happy Galentine's Day.
Bye.
Bye.
So now, you guys, we are going to switch over to our discussion on the Kingdom of Copper.
Where are you at?
I've reached, where am I? Okay. So I'm past the part where Dara is training his new people, and they captured some of the 2 scouts, and I'm at the part where Jamshid and Nari are walking home from the temple, and the soldiers out there are like ransacking this family's house and taking the woman's husband and brother and son away. and Nari tries to step in, and even Jamshid tries to step in, and the soldiers are like, no. So now it's a little bit of the like current politics are coming in, where Nari is starting to realize, at least what I think is happening, is Nari is starting to realize, maybe even more than she already thought, that she's more of like an ornament. You know, like she doesn't necessarily have the power that she thought she was going to have for her people, because the soldiers are not afraid of her, and like they're not even afraid of Jamshid, and he used to be like one of the like their best archer, right? Before he was injured, and they're not even
very
interested
well
in him.
respected. Yeah,
So it's sad.
It is, and it's so interesting, and there's so many different levels and so many great things we can talk about with this book. And there's a scene coming up with Ali that I read today that I cannot wait for you to get to, because I need to discuss this with you. I've been trying to keep my pace down so we are relatively on par with each other, so I'm only slightly ahead of you. And it's killing me, I'm not gonna lie.
You can read ahead. It's okay.
I know it's okay if I read ahead of you, but the problem is, if I'm going to read ahead of you, it's going to be just like it is in July, and I'm going to be sending you gifts of, why haven't you read this within 24 hours? That will happen, and I don't want to annoy you right now. But one of the really great levels of this, you have that romance element, keeping with our Galentine's Day theme, and then you've got
Ow! Sorry, cat.
Okay, then. So we've got this romance element, but then we also have the politics that interplay through all of this. The politics are just so important. They're just as important as the fantasy. It's not just this, fantasy element. There's these really strong politics that are into play. And Nari's situation where she's at, she really is this caged bird in Gashan's plan, where she got herself into this corner and she can't get herself out. And I feel for her, and watching her people get hurt the way she's having to watch that, it would drive me crazy. And he does this just to mess with her. He does this just to punish her, and Gashan, I hate you right now. I'm just saying.
Well, and I mean, just going back to the layers in the book, I mean, one thing that really stands out in any good fantasy novel, but I mean, especially this series, is the layers. I mean, she has created like different religions. Like, it's not just one religion. It's not just one people. I mean, she has like so many different people, clans and sects, and it's SECTS, not sex.
It is Galentine's Day after all, y'all.
Sects of people. It blows me away that she can just like create this out of thin air. I mean, I know it's based in part or inspired by actual mythology and actual cultures and religions, but still. And I also want to ask her, I don't think we asked her this one, how she comes up with the names, because the names like Jamshid, Nari, Dar, I don't even know how to pronounce Dara's real name.
I've had too much wine right now. I mean, I'm not drunk. I swear to you guys, I'm not drunk, even though I'm probably slurring ever so slightly.
No, you're good. I got headphones on. I can hear you nice and clear.
Okay, good. But yeah, I'm not even going to try Dara's full real name. Not even going to try.
I know I just read a sentence with his full name, and nope, hold on, I'm gonna find it. Did I read that part? I don't remember reading that part. I think my kids definitely put bookmark back in the wrong spot.
Oh, they need to be grounded
Like,
for a month.
I don't remember reading any of that. Yeah, I am not that far into the book. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay. Hold, please. Ow! Fish, put the claws away. Okay, here it is. So it's Dara Yavahush. Definitely not pronounced that. It's DARAYAVAHOUSH.
It's almost like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
So number one, how did she come up with these names? And number two, how do you pronounce it?
We had it pronounced Dara's name before, though.
I have to go back and
it's going to be the second time.
Yeah. But we're going to ask her again.
Yeah,
and the origin of some of the names, because I mean, it's even the names of the towns, the names of the religious or cultural attire that they wear. I mean, she created a whole language basically.
I love it. It's a beautifully done book. I think it's one of those fantasy trilogies that's really going to last and go far. I absolutely love this trilogy. And the second one, this is only the second book, and I can't wait to see what happens and where it's going to go. Because it was like, I was talking with somebody on Instagram recently, and they're like, they just finished City of Brass, and they're like, I have no idea where she's going to go next. And it's crazy. It's great.
Yes, I know. I'm very excited to keep reading more of Dara's storyline, especially since there's that 5-year time jump. Like, it's not. I think that time jump was brilliant on her part, because it could have run the risk of feeling kind of like monotonous, or it's like, and then the next day, and then the day after that, So I think the time jump was really great. It gave her the opportunity to skip a lot of the groundwork to get to the actual story. Without having to explain it.
I fully agree. I cannot wait to get to Dara's storyline, more of Dara's storyline, because, I mean, besides the fact that Dara is my newest book boyfriend, whether he likes it or not, I love his storyline, and you want to see him and Nari together, and it's heartbreaking to know the decisions that she's had to make because of the position that Dara put her in.
I don't know about wanting to see Nari and Dara together. Ali and Nari, yeah, your heart breaks that they can't be together.
God. No.
Don't you feel bad for Ali? He's like banished to this middle of nowhere place, which is now actually quite pleasant because he was able to bring water to the middle of the desert, which only supports my theory that he is a water zombie.
He's not a water zombie. I disagree with you on that. But I feel for him too. I am right there with you. I feel for him. But he's the asshole who caused this in the first place. Your book boyfriend killed my book boyfriend. We have a problem here, my friend.
They had a fundamental difference of everything.
True.
There was although if she could write one more scene, like the scene where they fought, like sparring, that was one of the best scenes I've ever read, ever.
Right? That was such a great scene. That and the scene where Dara actually puts his fist through the table.
That was it. Yeah.
That was the one where I was like, you've got to get to the scene. The scene is so great. And for those of you who haven't read City of Brass yet, it's not giving away anything. He's there in the in the infirmary, they're trying to tell him he can't see Nari, who is this healer, because he's not injured. So he puts his fist through the table and he cuts his hand and he's like, here, I'm injured. And it's this so perfect characterization of this character. It's plays in exactly with how the character is and is supposed to be. And I love that. And you know, that's another thing where I'm having to focus on keeping true with the character throughout the whole story and her changes, and going back to Nari and the Kingdom of Copper, where Nari's in this position where she can't be fully the same Nari that she was in the first book. But I see that face.
I'm trying to see if I can get him to do it up here, because I want you to see what I'm dealing with right now.
I can see the batting of cats. My dogs were misbehaving tonight too. But even though Nari is not the same little street urchin that she was in the first book, she's still very true to her character. And I love seeing that. And yeah, it's great character arcs and development and things of that nature.
Agreed. Agreed on that.
Yes.
On that note, I guess that would be a good note to close on.
It would be.
So, everyone, you have your well, if you do have your chocolates, eat the chocolate, keep reading. Candy goes on sale tomorrow, so stock up. That's what I will be doing.
Yeah, hell, when I was in Trader Joe's today, I was walking around shopping, and there were all these guys buying flowers. I'm like, why are all these people buying? Oh, that's right. Because not everybody is as heartless as I am.
I went to Target, and the card section had like a flock of men in front of it. I was like, you're lucky your girls are working right now.
Hey, at least they remembered. At least they didn't have to have constant reminders like I've had, because I completely forgot to wish my husband a happy Valentine's Day. I was so out of it today with busyness with work. I was like, Valentine's Day what?
Today is what now?
I am one of those wives who seriously, I'm like, I don't care about Valentine's Day. Don't buy me flowers.
Ay. Can you hear that? Is it picking up?
Yes, what is that?
It's River.
Is that your husband? Oh, it's River?
Jesus.
It sounds
is
like
he okay? Okay, so I'm gonna go check on my dog.
Okay. And I'm gonna head out now. So you guys have a great Valentine's Day, and I'll have edited this before up to the point where River is.
Yeah, thank you.
Sounds like he's like trying to blow everything out of his nose. So on that note, guys, have a great Valentine's Day.
Bye.
Bye.